This is Trisha Raystar with the Fat and Happy vlog, coming to you from Lake Norman. Hey guys, yeah, I already did an intro, so I'm back home and I'm freshly showered. And I promised you guys that I would give you some information on what it was like traveling as a, not just a chubby person, but a really fat person. It is filled with challenges, guys. Well worth it, and I had a blast, but filled with challenges. And those are the obstacles to being happy as a fat person. How you deal with those challenges, and how you get over them, and get through them, and get past them, and enjoy life. So, let's start with going to the airport. Airports require a lot of walking. I always prided myself on being a healthy, strong, flexible, fat person. And I used to hold my head high and stride through the airport, and I knew people were like, dang, you know, that's a big girl hustling through this airport. I lost my hustle. I cannot hustle that fast anymore. If the terminal is going to be too far, and it depends on the day. I mean, so anyways, as a human being, especially if you're middle-aged, you know, you don't have to be fat to know that certain days you feel like you could walk a mile and have no problem, and or for some of you, miles and miles, but some days you feel like you have tons of energy and you feel great and you can walk, and some days you feel like, exhausted, and you get tired more easily. It just depends on the day, and especially as a heavy person, it really depends on the day. And what sucks is, like, it's not just one thing when you're fat. It's not just like, oh man, I get out of breath easily. It's like, you know, knees start to give you pain when you get older, and your back starts to give you pain. And those things are both new to me. Knee pain I've always had here and there throughout the years, but never anything major until the past year and a half. Did my back and knees really start to bother me, where I need to take more frequent breaks to sit down and give my back and knees a rest. So getting out of breath prematurely, knee pain, and back pain are the three obstacles for myself as a fat person. I can only speak for myself. That make getting through the airport very difficult physically. I often have to rely on the cart, sometimes a wheelchair, which I freaking hate that, and it hurts my pride. And it's hard to admit that. But I can get up and walk through security. Of course I can walk. I'm able to walk down the jetway. The long distance through the airport carrying the bags is very challenging for me. And I hope to get back to a point where I'm able to do that independently, because that wounds my pride. But I still hope to, in the future, get back to a point where I can be more independent going through the airport. That would make me very happy. In the meantime, you have to be happy in the moment. So I was talking to one of the guys that was helping me about that, and he said, oh, you got a good sense of humor about it. Well, you have to, because otherwise the other choice is to be miserable. And I'm not going to be miserable. Too much to do, too much going on. I'm not going to do it. So anyhow, that's going through the airport. That's the difficulty of that. Currently, I always buy either first class or 2 coach seats. I've never been told I have to. I've never been asked to get 2 seats. I've been rude to by people who felt squished by me. There's people who've been tolerant but irritated, and there's people who've been downright rude. So that's been another obstacle. And I can say that when people have been rude in my life, that I have not always handled it gracefully or in a classy manner. I'm trying to be a kinder and more peaceful person as I get older, less aggressive and less quick to anger. So I have been able to be more tolerant and try to greet people with a smile more often, and put the nice foot forward first. And that's worked for me well. So I think if instead of daring people to say something to me, as I tended to do as a teenager, looking people straight in the eye, being proud of myself. I have a lot to be proud of. I'm a very accomplished woman, in my opinion. So I have every right to look someone proudly in the eye and give them a smile and expect them to smile back. So that's my philosophy on it nowadays, but that doesn't mean that I'm always perfect. And it's been... So anyhow, situations that have come up in the past, I haven't always handled them well. I'm trying as we move forward to handle such situations better. And this time there were no problems. I was in first class this time, still extremely uncomfortable for me. Because while the seats are much roomier, they don't allow, when you're in coach, the armrests go up. When you're in first class, they don't. So it's still a really tight fit for me, and it's like cutting off the circulation in my lower half because I'm like squished between these two little quarter walls. But it does allow the person next to me a lot more comfort. It does allow me a bit more comfort. Definitely get treated better in first class. People are kinder to you as a large passenger and probably as any passenger. So it is a nicer experience in that. I do use a seatbelt extender when I fly. I've had to use one of those forever, even when I was smaller. And I don't feel embarrassed asking for that. They try to give it to you very discreetly and be very nice. And so they're trained to hand you the seatbelt extenders discreetly, which is nice and all, but it doesn't bother me. So that's it. Going through the airport is difficult because walking long distances is difficult for me, period. And sitting on the plane is uncomfortable for obvious reasons. I do need a seatbelt extender, and people can be rude. Next, traveling home and dealing with the disappointment that people have because you've gained weight and you're not getting around the same as you used to, or, you know, they're just not happy with your weight as they never have been. So, you know, I see one member of my family who right off the bat says, well, I see you've gained weight. And I know this person loves me, and the person said, well, I just care about you, that's why I said that. But I said, you know, when you first see somebody, why would you think it's okay to make a negative comment about their appearance? I mean, that's just common sense and good manners. I would never see someone and be like, wow, I see that, you know, your acne is getting worse, or your issue is lack of fat-friendly furniture anywhere you freaking go. My God, everything has either tight armrests or is too rickety. So it's difficult to find good fat-friendly furniture when you're out traveling, and that's always an issue whether you're going to eat or going to a friend's house or whatever. And people, please put railings on your stairways. If you have railings on your stairways, they're not an issue for not just fat people, elderly people, disabled people, people with arthritis, children. Railings are good, safe railings. Another place for a railing is getting out of a pool. People have a trend now, and my parents do, and I love their pool, and I still swim in it, but it irritates me that there's no railing coming out of the pool. When you're stepping out of a pool, it is a slippery surface. Do you want your children to slip and bang their head and drown? Do you want your fat friends to slip and bang their head and drown? Do you want your grandma to slip and bang her head and drown? Please install railings on your stairways and coming out of your pools, people. Anyhow, those are my major issues when traveling. The airport issues, the issues of family being disappointed in you, or, you know, I wouldn't say like, whoa, your teeth have really gotten yellow with all that smoking and coffee drinking, haven't they? I mean, you just don't say stuff like that to people. So anyways, I, you know, had to ask this person to please just think and be a little nicer, because that's hurtful. And it's quite obvious to me that I've gained weight, and I live with a struggle every single day, and I choose to be happy even though it's very challenging to be a heavy person in society. And it's, you know, it's difficult enough without the judgment. So, and again, and some people, even when people try to be kind, they want to wait. And it can be frustrating when people are being kind and they want to wait for you, and, you know, you feel the pressure to keep up with them. You don't want to disappoint them, and you don't want to ruin their time or affect their fun time because you're slow. So my suggestion is offer if you have a fat friend. Be like, hey, you want me to hang back with you, or you want me to meet you there? You know, whatever. Just see what they want, because not everybody wants the same thing. I prefer if I have a good friend and they want to hang back with me. That's cool if I really feel it's not impeding on their fun. Or just for people to go ahead and let me take my time, and I'll get there and participate at my own pace, and then everybody's cool. So anyhow, there's that. There's people being disappointed in you and making comments, and there's people who are trying to be nice, and you feel pressured to keep up with them. My friend Valerie was just talking about that online the other day, and I totally agreed with her. Where I left off, this video keeps stopping, but the last thing that's difficult when you're traveling is making it harder for your friends who want to have fun, but who want you to have fun, and they feel bad because they're faster than you, and you know, you don't want to hinder your friends' fun, so that can be difficult. Other than that, I had a really, really great time, and I do hope over the next year to continue to take off a little bit of weight. I have taken off 20 pounds, 20-ish pounds, a little more than that, in the past 6 months or so. It's very small, but it's significant for me, and again, no desire to be skinny, but I just want to be healthy, live longer, and be more independent. So much for fat and traveling. Don't let it stop you. It is hard, and it's hard to motivate yourself when you know you're going to have all these extra obstacles in your way. But just be proud, be strong, do that shit, because life is short and you got to live it. And even though it can be hard and frustrating, it's worth it. My memories are going to be of swimming in the pool with my family, and, you know, road tripping with my family up and down the East Coast, not needing extra assistance in the airport. That's not going to be the focus of my memories. Anyhow, travel, fat people. Live your lives. Love yourselves. Do the best you can. Life is short. Alright. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for listening. Bye. Oh, like, subscribe, comment. Someday I'll get the hang of this. Bye.